Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I have a really sweet little paper bag project for you today. It's also paired with a cute 6x6 paper pack from Hot Off the Press, available at Paper Wishes. And you guys, before we get started and I tell you what you need to make this project and we go through a step-by-step tutorial, I will ask a favor. A personal favor. If you wouldn't mind watching as much of the video as you possibly can, if not the whole thing, it really helps my channel grow. I mean, I was really surprised when I made this request last time, and it really made a difference because you guys watched for longer. I really appreciate it, and I will reward you by telling you at the end of the video how you can participate in the giveaway for this project. I do give it away to one of my subscriber friends, so stay tuned for details and also what I used to make this cute little paper bag book. I have a Dollar Tree lunch sack project. Just 2 brown paper lunch sacks. I got mine at the Dollar Tree, right like that. Now I know you have these, you guys. Just look in the very back of the cupboard, way back there, that one you don't use. You're gonna find some around the house. If not, ask your neighbor. You just need 2 of them, all right? And I've also got Romantic Florals 6x6 pattern cardstock. We're going to flip through that in a minute, but this is what we're making. This is the prototype. So it goes like this. It's a cute little book. You flip it open. This is your closure. You've got a page here, and then you get to this side, and this is where the second paper bag comes in. We're having a little cute pop-up. You can put a little surprise in there. Okay, so cute, and it's so easy to make. We're even going to do a closure with the extra paper bag from the second one. So let's take a flip through here with the Romantic Florals. These I thought would just pair so well with the brown on the paper bags because they're very vintagey, and when we're done you're not going to be able to tell that these were paper bags. So look at the beautiful papers. Gorgeous. I love the music notes on that one. And these are of course available at paperwishes.com, and I always have the link down below my video in the Paper Wishes supplies. All my items are either from Paper Wishes or Amazon or the Dollar Tree. All right, and then you get these little cutouts. Very, very cute. Love it. All right. So let's prep our paper bags. As I said, you're going to need 2 of them. The first thing is we're going to take care of the notch here. Now, everybody's paper bags, the Dollar Tree is, you know, they're very inexpensive. You're getting 30 of them for $1.25. So they're not exactly uniform. So we're going to try to do our best to make these a little bit more uniform. So we're going to go ahead. Mine is measuring, about 10 3/4 tall, and it's just over 5 inches wide, so roughly 10 by 5. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it a true 10 by 5, okay, because we're going to cut off that little notch and that little jaggedy edge. So just cut that off till now we have something that's 10 inches tall by approximately 5 inches wide. You should be able to do this with any size bag. Like if you have, oh, I still need this. If you have, you know, if your store still has paper bags for apples and things like that, you can absolutely do that. You can use them for bakery bags. As long as it has a gusset like this, you can do it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're cutting off the bottom part of the bag. And we're going to use that as the little pop-up on the inside. But we have to kind of do it kind of weird. We're going to do it like this, kind of taking that bottom and we're squishing it. And then we're just going to cut, gosh, from the base of the bag right there, we're just going to cut it like 3/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 inch. We'll see. And I'll show you why. Okay, keep this part. There we go. So that's what we're looking for. We just cut off, okay, just like that. Just cut that down. All right, so we're going to use this. We're going to use this. Move this out of the way, Lene. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut open these gussets right here. And the best way that I can think of to do this is just take your long scissors, open this up, and we're going to be cutting right here in just one side of the gusset. So we're going to just take our scissors and kind of do this. And I have to keep mine flat so I can't lift it up too much. Oh, I just realized. Stop the presses. We need to fold our bag. Hope you guys are like not cutting along with me. I mean, we're going to do that anyway, but all right, we just folded it like this. We folded it not quite into the bottom of the bag. We want a little bit of space there. So let's measure. All right, so it's, gosh, almost 6 inches by a little over 5. Okay, so let's write that down. So our bag is going to be 10 inches tall by 5 inches, hopefully wide. And then you're going to cut that down. Well, that's what you're cutting it down to. And then you're going to fold so that it's 6 inches by 5. There. All right. Yeah, that's a terrible looking 5. All right. So then now we're going to open it up. Now we're going to cut that. All right, so we're just cutting to the fold. Like that. I'm going to flip this one over, make sure you're cutting the right one, so now it's on the bottom. There. Okay, let's go back to start. So now you have, that's opened up. This page has all these little gusset things, and we're going to glue those down. We don't need them. And then we're just going to glue some here. And this is all going to get covered with paper, so don't worry about doing a particularly great glue job. All right. So now we have cover, 1, 2, 3. Not sure what we're going to do here. All right, and then we've got our little pop-up piece that's going to go right here, and that's going to look really cute too. We're going to cover that with paper. All right, so the next thing I like to do is a little inking on this, but maybe we'll wait until we get our papers cut down. So I'm going to kind of want to stick with some pinks. And I really like this one on the border, kind of going in like that. I think that looks really pretty. And then on this side, we could do kind of one that's ghosted back a little bit. I mean, it just depends on what you're going to do with it. If you want to do journaling on here, use it like a card. If you're going to put pockets in here, which we absolutely can do, you can use it to hold tags and things like that. So maybe we want to keep this pretty neutral right here and then put a pocket down here. We can do that. This page. And then we want to keep this one pretty neutral too. And I'm really thinking I'm going to be using this color palette. It's kind of the burgundies and the pinks. Not sure I'll use the greens. We'll see. That could be a great pocket. And of course, you know, you got to use that green. That's just fantastic, isn't it? All right, I'm just going to figure this part out. We'll come back. Just a little inking here around the edges. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add some paper. So I'm going to keep this flap open. I was using cocoa bean. It's just a dark brown ink, by the way. All right, so I cut my paper down, putting the border on this side, and I cut it down to 3 7/8 inches wide by 5 1/8 of an inch tall. Okay, and all of the pages are going to be the same. Okay, we can just do that on all of them except for this one. So let's just put that one there. All right, so we've got the cover done, these pages done, this page, and then this one under the gusset. Let's talk about that one. So under the flap, that measures 4 1/8 inch wide by 5 1/8 inch tall. So they're all kind of following that 5 1/8, okay? Then we need to cover this one, this flap. I wasn't sure what else to call it besides flap. That one is 3 inches wide by 5 1/8. And I'm inked all the edges. And then you'll notice that with the 5 1/8 is pretty much going to the very edge of the bag, but the width of these pieces of paper, I'm leaving a little bit of a border on the paper bag. So you can see here, there's a border here, there's a little bit of a border here, and that's just to keep everything consistent for turning the pages here. Oops. I wanted to keep something here, so I just kind of evened it out by putting another little brown edge here. You don't have to do that. You could cut them a little wider if you'd like. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to turn this over, and we have the back. All right, so this back piece is 5 1/2 by 5 1/8. Okay, and I'm just carrying that pink paper through to the back, because with these little 6 by 6 you get lots of, I think you get 4 or 6, I think you get 4 of each sheet. All right. Okay, so let's see how this is looking so far. Okay, so here's our little book. We're not done yet. And then opening here, and then we have this page. Let's first deal with this one. You'll see I left it, they're sort of coordinating pages, but I left this part blank because I wanted to add a pocket. Now we have got all of these strips of paper left from cutting everything down. So I just chose one, and I want to cut it to the same width as each of the papers. So this one is going to be 3 7/8 of an inch wide. And then as far as tall goes, I just cut it to 2 inches tall. But I'm also going to put a little notch, because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm a firm believer in putting notches in pockets. Because if you're giving a gift and you just glue this down, it just looks like a border on a page or something. They might miss that there's a pocket there. So I like to notate my pockets with a little bit of a notch. This is a 1 1/2 inch punch, and you just want to keep about the same amount on each side here, and I'm only using about 1/3 of the circle. That's how you get a cute little notch. I'm going to ink that so it matches everything else, the dark brown ink. And we're going to glue that along the bottom for a cute little pocket. There we go. And we'll make a tag or something to put in there. And then when we come back, we will be working on the little pop-up. Little ink along the edges of that little pop-up. All right, so for my pop-up, this is the outside piece. I wasn't sure what to call this one either. This is for the top piece. Okay, and that's 2 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/8. Go. And then what we're going to call just that little band or strip that goes right here. This is 1 1/2 inches wide by 5 1/8. And I'm not using the really beautiful roses on that side just because I want to keep this one. It's really not going to show much. And we want to put something on top of that for the pull, and I want the pull to show. So there we go. Okay, it's going to go like this. I did notice we want to make sure and get these corners really good because this piece is full of movement. All right, so now to measure what's going to go on the inside, I just took a little piece of paper. This is what's left over from the piece that we used here. And I just wanted to leave space all the way around so that it would fit snugly with a little bit of a border. So this one measures, we know it's 5 and the normal measurement is 5 1/8 inches tall, but I cut that down to 5 inches, and then it is 2 3/4 inch wide. So 2 3/4, 5 inches. Okay, and this is going to go on the inside. And this is a great place to add a little note, a gift card, just a little surprise. There we go. Make sure that's all adhered. Now we do need to add something for the pull, and the pull always gets glued to the bottom part of the bag right here. Okay, if you glue it here, it's not going to open. So we have all of these scraps of paper. Why don't we use, I think, like one of these green ones? And this little piece is a 1 inch wide, and I mean, it can just be like this. It's just going to be really small. So like 1 by 1 1/4. And I just folded that over. Let's see if I got close to 1 and 1. No, I didn't. 1 by 2. So I'll write that down for you in a second. 1 1/4. Oops, my mic just fell right off. Hello, hello, are you still there? Okay, that is going to get put right here. We're going to glue these pieces together. We're going to put a little bit of glue on one side, and we're going to attach that right, we want it to be about the middle here, and we want it to stick out like that. And I'm just going to hold it like this, and it's going to get pulled like this. Hopefully you can just pull it like that when the glue dries. All right, so let's glue this into place so it has time to dry. I think this would be fun, like as a graduation gift. You could do it in different kinds of papers for different kinds of, you know, for Christmas. Just different occasions, change your papers up. All right, so now that it's in there, it just opens just like that. Isn't that fun? All right, so this is gonna go like this. So we have it all covered with paper, and now we get to add things like tags and embellishments. We'll do all that on the next segment. I did decide I wanted to add something decorative right here, and I got this beautiful little crocheted lace at the Dollar Tree, so I was thinking we put a little crocheted edge on that. That could be fun, and it's not too late, so we're just going to put a line of glue. You could use hot glue, but I find that just a good quality glue, like this is Cosmic Shimmer, I get it at Paper Wishes. It handles ribbon just fine. So I'm going to set this on here, and then I'm going to kind of manipulate it. Let's trim it down. And I just want it to sort of peek out. And then I also want it to stay straight. So we'll just give it a little tension on there on each end. There we go. And then while it's drying, I don't want it to come in contact with that first page. So if I had some wax paper or something, I would put that there. So we're just going to move forward though. All right, and now we've got a little gift card here for a pocket. But on this side, on this page, I think we can go ahead and put something like this little triangle that I have cut down. And for this, you could go ahead and glue this in, and then you could just put a little photo there. You could put a little note there. And I like to keep these really generic because if you're new to my channel, I'll tell you that I love to give my finished projects away to one of my subscriber friends. And all you have to do to participate is subscribe, like this photo, leave a comment, and then you have to watch next week's video to see who the winner is. And it's announced in a pop-up, and we announce it with the YouTube username of the winner because we don't know your email and we don't know your real name. So just pop up with the username and then follow the instructions on how to claim that. All right, so once we have this little corner right there, you can put little photos in there for gifting, okay? Because maybe you don't want to glue them in because somebody wants to do something with them. And I know you have lots of photos out there. I do too. And you could put things like lottery tickets, cash, depends on what you are giving this for, of course. On the inside here, pop up with a little photo. Okay, that's a surprise. We've got another little tuck spot right here where you could just open this up, tuck in your little photo right there. All right, so that's all coming together. So let's talk about tags. So I love this tag punch. It's a really good quality one. I spent a lot of time finding it on Amazon and it's not that easy to find. So go ahead and look in my Amazon store. It's down below the video in the description box and there's a link. And yeah, it's a really nice one. So what you want to do is get your paper measured to either 1.5 inch, 2 inches wide, or 2.5 inches wide. And you're just inserting it into the little slot corresponding. So I've already done a 2-inch wide one. And this is great for using up all those scraps that we have. All right, that's a little 1.5 inch. Just like that. We're going to go ahead, we're going to ink those edges. And then we can layer them one on top of the other. Oh, this one disappeared on there. I was like, where did it go? You can layer them, so cute, one on top of the other. Sometimes I like tying them together, and sometimes I like just putting a little bit of glue right there. And then you just put them right there, and that way they still can hang nicely. I have a little bow here, a little bow that is from the 1/8 inch ribbon collection. It comes with all of these grosgrain ribbons in that tiny little size, Paper Wishes. You can find the link down below. And we're just going to put a little glue. You could hot glue this, whatever you'd like to do. I like to put it just below the little hanging circle there. There we go. And then I've got these really sweet little dazzle greetings. They're just little words. They're called tiny words and phrases. And I like to add those just right here to the tag. So we could do congratulations. Would be nice. And that would work for a lot of different occasions, except that's too big. So we'll put it down here. And then sometimes those little pieces on the inside stick on there. Pokey tool is really nice to have. Like that. And you're just kind of picking those out. There we go. Oop, there's a big one. All right, and then we could put friend up on the other one. Ooh, that's really crooked. See, what's great about these is they're not permanent until you push them down, till you like burnish them with your fingers. Otherwise you can move them around. They're just little pieces of vinyl that are nice, and they come in lots of different colors. I like the white because it really stands out on the dark paper. I'll get those later. Okay, So I think this is drying well. So let's go ahead and trim. There. And then to keep that from unraveling, I just like to put a little bit of glue on that end. Just go like that. It's going to keep it nice and tidy. Okay, and then we can just put this right in here, like that. All right, and then we still have this last piece of bag, you guys. And what I like doing with this is go ahead and get your paper trimmer. I lost my paper trimmer. And we're going to go ahead and just trim this just to get rid of some of the folds here. And then we're going to cut this to just about 1 inch, a little 1-inch strip. Okay, and then we can ink the edges of that just a little bit. Definitely does not need to be perfect. All right, and then we're going to use this as a closure. Like that. We do have a lot of slack. We're going to take our scissors. I'm going to trim. Thinking. Let's do this on the front. Okay, so this piece right here, we can overlap that and glue that down. Okay, and we can also cut a little notch on the end of this. I'm just going to fold this end in half. And then you just cut it the other way, Lene. Just like this. And this would be like a great tearaway one because it is so like thin. But we're going to go ahead and put some glue right here, here, here. Oops. And then we're just going to make sure it's wrapped around securely but has enough room to pull this off. So you don't want it to slide off and you don't want it to be too tight to pull off. Taking away a little bit of the slack there. There we go. Nope, that's too much slack. I was trying to do this delicately, but we're gonna have to just go for it. There. Okay, so that's holding everything in place. Remember, we've got our little 1.5 inch circle punch. We have a lot of these pieces left. So let's go ahead and make a little focal. So pretty. Ink the edges of that. There we go. And you can put that right there. We're just going to put a little bit of glue right here. We don't want it to kind of squeeze out the back side. All right, there we go. So with my messy desk, here's our little book, you guys. And I hope that you had fun watching. I hope you make one. Remember, just 2 Dollar Tree lunch sacks. Get them anywhere you have lunch sacks. I think this one was a really fun and easy one to make. And let's see, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe in order to be entered in to win the giveaway. You also have to watch next week's video to see who the winner is so you can claim your prize. It would also be great if you guys would consider following me over on Instagram. I try to do 2 new projects or little shorts on Instagram Reels. And I also do little thrifting pop-ups and things like that. So it would be awesome if my YouTube friends would follow me over on Instagram as well and Facebook. Thanks for joining me today, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.